Hello guys, welcome back. And today we are going over the Belgium Iceberg. Enjoy! EU capital. Brussels is commonly referred to as the capital of the European Union, EU, because it hosts the main EU institutions, the European Commission, the Council of the European Union, and many sessions of the European Parliament are based there. Although the EU does not have an official single capital, Brussels functions as its political and administrative center. Tintin. Tintin is a famous fictional reporter and adventurer created by Belgian cartoonist Hergé. He first appeared in 1929 in the comic series The Adventures of Tintin. Along with his dog Snowy, Tintin travels around the world solving mysteries and uncovering conspiracies. The series became one of the most popular and influential European comics ever published. Confusing government. Belgium has a complex federal system because it is divided by both language and region. There are 3 regions and 3 language communities, Dutch, French, and German-speaking, each with its own government and powers. On top of that, Belgium also has a federal national government, meaning authority is shared across multiple levels. Sabena. Sabena was the former national airline of Belgium, founded in 1923. Its name stood for Société Anonyme Belge d'Exploitation de la Navigation Aérienne. Sabena operated international flights across Europe, Africa, and beyond, becoming an important symbol of Belgian aviation. NATO headquarters. NATO headquarters is located in Brussels. It serves as the political and administrative center of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, where representatives from member countries meet to coordinate defense and security policies. The headquarters hosts the North Atlantic Council, NATO's main decision-making body. Leopold II. Leopold II was King of Belgium from 1865 to 1909. He personally controlled the Congo Free State in Central Africa, where forced labor and brutal exploitation led to the deaths of millions of Congolese people. International outrage eventually forced Belgium to take control of the territory in 1908, ending his personal rule. Crimes in Congo. The crimes in the Congo refer mainly to abuses committed during the rule of Leopold II in the Congo Free State. The territory was his personal possession, and local people were forced to collect rubber and other resources under a system of extreme violence and coercion. Villages that failed to meet quotas were punished, and widespread killings, mutilations, starvation, and disease led to the deaths of millions. Marc Dutroux. Marc Dutroux is a Belgian criminal who became infamous in the 1990s for kidnapping. His crimes, along with the failures of Belgian law enforcement to prevent them, caused national outrage and led to widespread protests demanding reforms in the justice system. Dutroux was arrested in 1996, convicted in 2004, and sentenced to life imprisonment. Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo was fought on June 18, 1815, near Waterloo in present-day Belgium. It marked the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte by the Allied forces of the British-led Duke of Wellington, Jean-Victor de Constant-Rebecque, and the Prussian army under Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. Napoleon's loss ended his rule as Emperor of France and brought an end to the Napoleonic Wars. Charleroi. Charleroi is a city in Wallonia, southern Belgium, situated along the Sambre River. Historically, it was a major industrial and coal mining center, playing a key role in Belgium's Industrial Revolution. Today, Charleroi is known for its urban redevelopment, cultural institutions, and regional airport, while still reflecting its industrial heritage. La Muette de Portici. La Muette de Portici is a French opera composed by Daniel Aubert, first performed in 1828. The story is set in 17th-century Naples and centers on a revolt against Spanish rule. The opera became historically significant because a performance in Brussels in 1830 helped spark unrest that led to the Belgian Revolution. Human zoos. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Belgium held human zoo exhibitions, where people from colonized territories, especially the Congo, were displayed to European audiences. These exhibitions were linked to Belgium's control of the Congo under Leopold II and later the Belgian colonial state. At events like the 1897 International Exposition of Brussels, Congolese people were placed in reconstructed villages and treated as spectacles. No government. Belgium is famous for going a very long time without a fully formed federal government. From 2010 to 2011, the country went 541 days without an elected coalition government due to disagreements between Flemish and Walloon parties. Later, from 2019 to 2020, Belgium again spent over 650 days in a caretaker government before a new coalition was formed. Adolphe Sax. Adolphe Sax was a Belgian inventor and musician, best known for creating the saxophone in the 1840s. Born in Dinant, Belgium, he experimented with combining features of woodwind and brass instruments to produce a powerful, flexible sound. The saxophone later became central to jazz, classical, and military band music. Praline. Praline is a type of chocolate confection closely associated with Belgium. Belgian pralines typically have a chocolate shell filled with soft centers like ganache, cream, nuts, or liqueur. They were first created in 1912 by Belgian chocolatier Jean Neuhaus Jr., founder of Neuhaus. The States of Belgium. The United States of Belgium was a short-lived confederation that existed from January to December 1790. It was formed after provinces in the Austrian Netherlands revolted against Habsburg rule during the Brabant Revolution. The new state modeled itself loosely on the United States of America, emphasizing provincial sovereignty and limited central power. Dutch royal family prohibition. After the Belgian Revolution of 1830, Belgium formally separated from the Kingdom of the Netherlands, ending rule by the Dutch royal house. The Dutch king at the time, William I of the Netherlands, had governed both present-day Netherlands and Belgium since 1815. Following independence, Belgium established its own constitutional monarchy, and later chose Leopold I of Belgium as king. Neutral Moorsnet. Neutral Moorsnet was a tiny neutral territory that existed from 1816 to 1920 between Belgium, the Netherlands, and Prussia. It was created after the Congress of Vienna because the bordering powers could not agree on who should control a valuable zinc mine in the area. The territory had its own administration and became known for low taxes and unusual proposals, including an attempt to make Esperanto its official language. Philip Congo. King Philip of Belgium is the constitutional monarch of Belgium, but under Belgium's system, he cannot unilaterally mobilize the army, including in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Belgium's military decisions are made by the government and parliament, with the king performing largely ceremonial roles. The Belgian army no longer has any formal authority in the Congo, which is an independent country since 1960. Baarle-Hertog. Baarle-Hertog is a Belgian municipality located in the province of Antwerp, notable for its extremely complex border with the Netherlands. It consists of 26 separate Belgian enclaves surrounded by Dutch territory, creating a patchwork of Belgian and Dutch land. The unusual border arrangement dates back to medieval treaties and land swaps between local lords. The Charleroi Metro. The Charleroi Metro is a light rail network serving the city of Charleroi and its surrounding area in Wallonia, Belgium. Construction began in the 1970s, but only parts of the network were completed, leaving several unfinished tunnels and stations, earning it the nickname the Unfinished Metro. The system combines underground and surface tram lines, linking suburbs to the city center. Defense can confiscate animals. In Belgium, the Defense Ministry can confiscate animals in certain situations, but only under specific legal circumstances. This usually occurs if animals are needed for military purposes, such as training, transport, or public safety, or if they pose a threat during emergencies. Confiscation must comply with Belgian animal welfare and property laws, and owners are typically compensated. The Battle of Gravenstein. The Battle of Gravenstein refers to a medieval conflict in Ghent, Belgium, centered around the Gravenstein Castle, which was built in the 12th century as the seat of the Counts of Flanders. The castle was strategically important, and throughout the Middle Ages, it was the site of rebellions, sieges, and clashes between the local populace and feudal rulers. One of the most notable episodes occurred during the late 14th and early 15th centuries, when Ghent's citizens frequently revolted against the Count of Flanders' authority. Louvain-la-Neuve. Louvain-la-Neuve is a planned city in Walloon-Brabant, Belgium, built in the late 1960s to host the French-speaking part of the Catholic University of Louvain after linguistic tensions split the original university in Louvain. The city was designed as a pedestrian-friendly urban center, with modern architecture and wide public spaces, while vehicles are mostly kept on the outskirts. It is entirely student-oriented, with universities, research centers, shops, and cultural institutions forming the heart of the city. Cathedral of Liège. The Cathedral of Liège contains a statue of Lucifer near the pulpit. This unusual figure is part of the cathedral's elaborate Gothic and Baroque decoration, serving as a moral and religious symbol representing evil and the fall from grace. The statue is often noted for its dramatic and artistic depiction, reflecting medieval and early modern religious art's focus on good versus evil. Empress Charlotte. Empress Charlotte of Belgium, born Princess Charlotte of Belgium, was the daughter of King Leopold I of Belgium and became Empress of Mexico through her marriage to Maximilian I of Mexico. She ruled as Empress Consort from 1864 to 1867, during the short-lived Second Mexican Empire imposed by France. After Maximilian was executed by Mexican Republicans in 1867, Charlotte suffered a mental breakdown and spent much of the rest of her life in seclusion in Europe. Walloon language. Walloon is a Romance language spoken mainly in the Wallonia region of southern Belgium. It evolved from Old French and local Latin dialects and has its own distinct vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. Historically, Walloon was widely spoken in daily life, but today it is mostly used by older generations, with French dominating in education, media, and government. Adrien Paul, Ghislain Carton de Wiart. Adrien Paul Ghislain Carton de Wiart was a Belgian-born British Army officer renowned for his extraordinary military career. He fought in the Second Boer War, World War I, and World War II, earning multiple wounds and decorations, including the Victoria Cross. Known for his toughness and eccentricity, he famously lost an eye, a hand, and part of his ear during combat, but continued to serve. Eddie Wally. Eddie Wally was a famous Belgian singer known for his flamboyant style and charismatic performances. Dubbed the Voice of Europe, he sang mostly in Dutch and Flemish, performing pop and Schlager songs. He became a cultural icon, not only for his music, but also for his outlandish outfits and energetic stage presence, often accompanied by his signature catchphrase, "Wow!" 1999. Coca-Cola. What is it with Europe and Coca-Cola, man? So, major health scare in Belgium led to a ban on Coca-Cola products in 1999, after over 200 people reported nausea, headaches, and vomiting. The crisis, fueled by panic following a separate dioxin contamination scandal, resulted in the recall of 30 million cans and bottles. The Santo Tomás Colony. The Santo Tomás Colony refers to a short-lived Belgian colonial settlement at Santo Tomás de Castilla on the Caribbean coast of Guatemala in the mid-19th century. In 1843, the Guatemalan parliament granted the coastal region to the Compagnie Belge de Colonisation, a private Belgian company under the protection of King Leopold I of Belgium, to settle Belgian emigrants there. Many settlers died from tropical diseases like yellow fever and malaria, and the colony struggled with poor conditions and financial losses, leading to its abandonment by 1854. Mayonnaise Law. The Mayonnaise Law in Belgium is an informal nickname for a regulation defining what can legally be sold as mayonnaise. Passed in 1914, it specifies that mayonnaise must contain at least 70% fat from egg yolk or oil and a minimum of 5% egg yolk, ensuring quality and consistency in commercial products. This law was intended to protect consumers and standardize food production, especially as industrial food processing became widespread. French fries aren't French. Despite the name, French fries did not originate in France. They are widely believed to have come from Belgium. According to Belgian tradition, villagers in the Meuse Valley were frying small fish for food, and when the rivers froze in winter, they cut potatoes into fish-like shapes and fried them instead. American soldiers in World War I reportedly called them French fries because French was the official language of the Belgian army, spreading the name internationally. Body in concrete pillar. Vilvoorde. There's a long-standing urban legend in Vilvoorde, Belgium, about a body supposedly trapped inside a concrete pillar of the Vilvoorde Viaduct. The story claims that during construction in the 1970s, a worker fell into wet concrete and was never recovered, so his body remains inside the pillar. However, investigations and local authorities have consistently labeled this as a myth, with no evidence that a corpse was ever left in the structure. The viaduct is undergoing renovation for structural reasons, but nothing in official records confirms the legend of a body in the concrete. And that was the end of the Belgium Iceberg, and sadly, the final European video. My name is John, your European narrator, saying goodbye.
And now it's time to move on to Asia. My name is Connor, and I will be your Asian narrator. We will be going over 13 more Asian countries, so buckle up, Buttercup. Get ready to go over Asian history in an iceberg format, starting with China. Coming on March 13th. I'll see you there.